Were you and R. Kelly ever intimate?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love him.
Like loved in love?
Robert Kelly always saw me as nothing, but he didn't see me as nothing more as motivation for writing. I wasn't the woman he wanted, even though I wanted him.
Okay. Michelle's relationship history has often looked like a roller coaster, packed with emotional highs, painful lows, and situations that seem to bring more drama than peace. From her connection to Memphis to her past ties involving R. Kelly, she spent years dealing with difficult relationships, heartbreak, control issues, and emotional uncertainty. So when news suddenly surfaced that she had married celebrity dentist Dr. Caston Sims, people instantly started asking questions. Was this finally the fresh start she had been searching for, or was it another complicated chapter in a pattern that never seemed to stay simple?
Okay, I remember when I got on top of the car.
Yeah, she was butt naked on the hood of a Jaguar.
What?
And then?
I just chased him with a butcher knife.
You chased him with a butcher knife.
But before we get into all of that, make sure you grab something good to snack on at rrgsnacks.com. Their online concession stand is loaded with Applewood smoked bacon jerky, freeze-dried treats, butter toffee peanuts, and plenty of other tasty picks. To understand how this story unfolded, we have to rewind all the way back to 2008. At the time, the Memphis-born singer was working hard to build a name for herself in the music business. K. Michelle visited Jive Records hoping to land a deal connected to R. Kelly. He wasn't there that day, but Jive Records A&R executive and fellow Memphis native Memphis was in the building, and he was impressed by what he heard. Because she was disappointed that R. Kelly wasn't available at the time, K. Michelle decided to let Memphis mentor her and help guide her career. As they spent more time together, their professional connection eventually turned into a romantic relationship. But according to K. Michelle, the relationship later became troubled and filled with serious conflict. She has publicly accused Memphis of being physically abusive on multiple occasions. She also claimed the situation became so frightening that she chose to leave both the relationship and Jive Records because she feared for her safety.
An amazing man. And he knows my sexual preference. We don't have this. It'd be crazy. People like, oh, I seen your man. Okay, I seen him too. When it comes down to things like cheating, my thing in cheating is one, you shouldn't be paying anyone's bills or paying a debt to Coke.
Okay.
Like, I'm not with that. Cheating for me might be different for like other people.
Right.
Because it's the fact no one should tell me something about you that I don't already know.
Oh, interesting.
You've played with me now. Because no one should be plotting, laughing, or doing anything. You should tell me everything.
Around that same period, R. Kelly reached out, giving her the opportunity to finally meet with him. K. Michelle spoke highly of that experience, saying he was open about discussing her artistry and made it clear that he believed in her talent. She credited that support as a major reason she was later invited to join his Ladies Make Some Noise tour, calling it an opportunity she had long hoped and prayed for. At that point in her journey, his encouragement felt like proof that her dreams were within reach, and naturally, their relationship grew closer. He later said in an interview, "So what had been going around that you and K. Michelle had a relationship?" Years later, K. Michelle appeared on The Jason Lee Show, where the topic came up again. Were you and R. Kelly ever intimate? For many years, R. Kelly faced numerous public accusations dating back to the early 1990s, and during much of that time, K. Michelle was known as one of his most vocal supporters. She even told a Chicago radio station that standing by him during his highly publicized controversies created tension in some of her industry relationships. According to her, it contributed to a falling out with certain people in the music business, including Trey Songz. As public scrutiny surrounding R. Kelly intensified around 2017, K. Michelle's position appeared to evolve. In an interview with Billboard, she said she was not shocked by the allegations being discussed publicly and stressed the importance of listening to and supporting women who share their experiences. She also reflected on her own history with abuse and the challenges of being believed, which gave her a very different perspective on the situation and added another layer to her views on the controversy. However, even while acknowledging the seriousness of the allegations, K. Michelle did not completely separate herself from her past connection to R. Kelly.
Is that because Nikki Glaser, you know the comedian?
Okay, tell me.
Nikki Glaser is a comedian. She's a very funny woman. She's been at this thing for a while, but she really burst on the scene when they were roasted Tom Brady. I don't know if you saw that on Netflix. Okay. But anyway, she said that, hey, she likes her husband, getting down and watching her husband do that, just don't have an emotional connection to them. Is that where we are now?
I think for someone like me, everything has to be not in the norm, because that's just...
During an appearance on The Real, she referred to him as a mentor and spoke openly about how complicated the situation felt. She discussed the challenge of reconciling personal loyalty with information that was becoming increasingly public and difficult to ignore. K. Michelle also shared details about living in his home, describing an environment she viewed as unhealthy and dysfunctional. She explained that she felt cut off from her family and overly dependent on him, creating a situation that she later recognized was not good for her well-being. According to her, she feared that walking away could also mean walking away from her career, which made the decision even more difficult. Her song Build a Man offered more insight into those experiences. In the track, she described a man who cared deeply for her, but was also controlling in ways that affected her independence. She later confirmed that the song was inspired by R. Kelly. Even after moving on from that chapter, K. Michelle admitted that she missed the musical mentorship he had provided. In 2020, comments she made about missing that guidance sparked strong reactions from critics because of the serious allegations surrounding him.
Michelle tells Shannon Sharpe that she doesn't have a problem with her husband sleeping with other women. The only thing she has a problem with is if her husband is paying bills. Like, anybody could walk up to her and be like, I was with your husband, and that would be fine. But the second she finds out that somebody paid their light bill, like her husband paid the light bill of one of these girls, that's where it actually starts to feel like cheating. And then she even goes on in detail to admit that she likes watching her husband sleep with other women, which is like some sort of like different kind of romantic situation. It's not like the most traditional, but this is what K. Michelle says she's into. And she even told Shannon Sharpe, nobody's going to be able to tell me that they did something with my man that I haven't already done, but she said that she likes it.
At the same time, while navigating the ups and downs involving Memphis and R. Kelly, another important figure remained in the background, Caston Sims. According to K. Michelle, her feelings for him go all the way back to their younger years. During an appearance on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, she revealed that they had dated on and off for roughly 10 or 11 years. That is more than a decade filled with history, memories, breakups, reconciliations, and unfinished chapters that kept pulling them back into each other's lives. According to K. Michelle, even after all those years of history together, Caston still wasn't exactly racing down the aisle with a ring in hand. Their relationship had plenty of deep feelings and long-term history, but commitment remained a major point of tension. During an appearance on The Jason Lee Show, K. Michelle spoke candidly about the emotional roller coaster she and Caston had been riding for years, and it sounded like a relationship filled with constant twists and turns. According to her, they experienced their share of breakups, reconciliations, disagreements, and difficult conversations. Things reportedly became so strained at one point that the couple appeared on Marriage Boot Camp in 2022 in an effort to address their ongoing issues and improve their relationship. During those discussions, K. Michelle revealed that when she began seriously pressing the topic of marriage, Caston questioned whether marriage itself was what she truly wanted. According to her, he believed she was more focused on achieving a personal milestone than on the title itself. As the frustration continued to build, K. Michelle decided to change her approach. She said she pulled back on communication and stopped putting in the same level of effort. Eventually, tensions reached a boiling point, and she told Caston she was prepared to be unfaithful if their relationship continued down the same troubled path, a statement that highlighted just how frustrated and emotionally drained she felt at the time. K. Michelle said she eventually acted on the frustrations she had been feeling in the relationship. According to her, not long after that, 2 NBA coaches reportedly reached out to her through social media at nearly the same time, adding even more twists to an already complicated situation.
And this is obviously like some crazy promotion for this Club Shay Shay podcast episode, and I'm sure it'll get a lot of views. And this is not the first time I've even heard this. There's this comedian named Nikki Glazer who is like popular for roasting like Tom Brady, but she also went on to say that she likes to watch her man do something like that, or have her man come and tell her stories about what he's done with other women. And I want to know what you think about this whole situation. Do you think K. Michelle genuinely means this? Do you think she's just saying this for publicity? Do you even agree with her? Are there some people out there like this? Let me know what you think about this in the comment section, and follow me for more content like this.
As things progressed, she told Kasten that she had been talking to another man who cared about her and was supposedly interested in a serious future together. Suddenly, the same man who had seemed hesitant about commitment appeared much more invested in the relationship. The shift caught her attention and added another layer of drama to the story. Even with all the ups and downs, emotional tension, and relationship chaos, K. Michelle said it took one final eye-opening moment before she could decide whether to stay with Kasten or move on for good. During the Jason Lee show, she described an NBA coach whom she believed looked perfect on paper and seemed like strong husband material. According to K. Michelle, that image changed during a Real Housewives of Atlanta cast meeting. She said he arrived expecting a lot of attention from production, but the focus was on her, not him. When producers reportedly only wanted to speak with K. Michelle, she felt his reaction revealed a side of his personality she hadn't fully seen before. That experience gave her unexpected clarity, and she said she reached out to Kasten later that very same night. But K. Michelle wasn't interested in simply restarting the relationship as if nothing had happened. She told Kasten that if marriage was truly what he wanted, then the decision had to be made immediately. There would be no more waiting, no more uncertainty, and no more years of going back and forth. According to K. Michelle, the ultimatum worked. She said Kasten quickly flew to Nashville, and the two ended up getting married the very next day. As soon as that story became public, people started asking the same question. How do you end one relationship and then marry someone else almost overnight? The timeline left many fans stunned and sparked plenty of discussion online. And there was another detail that grabbed attention. During an episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, K. Michelle revealed that there was reportedly no prenuptial agreement in place. For many observers, that only added to the surprise surrounding the whirlwind marriage.
Michelle says that she allows her husband to sleep with other women as long as he does not pay any of their bills or buys them anything and just uses them. And she likes to watch the videos. I am not surprised by this. I really did not want to speak on her husband, but I did watch them on Marriage Boot Camp a long time ago, and this is not shocking. She's been with this man since high school, on and off, okay? Now we are declassing the show. And I am not too proud to say everyone else was right. I thought she was going to be a great addition. I thought time has happened and she has grown, but no.
K. Michelle explained that whenever she tried to give Kasten gifts or involve him more in her financial affairs, he usually declined. As she described it, "He's so far removed from my life." That comment immediately caught people's attention because it struck some listeners as an unusual way to describe a spouse. According to K. Michelle, Kasten has never been interested in her money, public image, or celebrity lifestyle. She said he prefers to stay out of the spotlight, avoids social media, and has little interest in public attention altogether. While some people saw those traits as signs that he was private, grounded, and focused on his own life, others felt the explanation sounded surprisingly distant for a couple that had just tied the knot. The more details that emerged, the more questions people seemed to have about how their relationship actually worked behind the scenes. Even with K. Michelle's explanation, a lot of people still weren't convinced. Many viewers struggled to understand what Kasten's private lifestyle had to do with not having a prenuptial agreement. After all, just because someone isn't interested in your money, fame, or social media following doesn't automatically explain why two financially successful adults would choose not to put legal protections in place. For plenty of fans watching from the sidelines, the reasoning raised more questions than answers and added another layer of mystery to an already unconventional marriage. As K. Michelle continued discussing the prenup situation, the conversation suddenly took an unexpected turn and shifted toward the topic of infidelity. While explaining that Kasten doesn't use social media, she made a surprising comment, admitting that part of her almost wished he did, so she could see what he was doing online. The other women quickly pushed back, suggesting that those were not the kinds of concerns anyone would want to bring into a marriage. But K. Michelle saw things differently. In her confessional, she openly stated, "I believe all men cheat."
But no, from her crying on the table and now this interview, I don't watch Shay Shay, Club Shay Shay, because it just gives very coonery vibes. He's weird to me. There's no big reason I don't, besides he's weird, he gives me the ick. Her talking about R. Kelly still in this loving way, I mean, it's just, we're declassing the show. You all were right. Get her off my screen, please. 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 Just sing the country songs. We don't need to know anything about your personal life. Thank you.
That remark immediately grabbed attention and sparked debate among viewers. According to her reasoning, the fact that Kasten stays away from social media doesn't necessarily make him less likely to be unfaithful. In her view, it simply makes it harder to know what he's doing, which led her to jokingly suggest that someone with no online presence could be the sneakiest person of all. The way K. Michelle spoke about the topic left some viewers feeling like she was constantly on guard for the possibility of betrayal. Her comments gave the impression that trust and infidelity were issues she thought about more often than most people would expect in a newly married relationship. And realistically, many people pointed out that social media has never been a requirement for someone to be unfaithful. Long before Instagram, Snapchat, and other platforms existed, people still found ways to hide things. That's why some fans felt her comments were less about social media itself and more about deeper concerns she may have had regarding trust. What made the situation even more interesting was that it wasn't the first time she had publicly joked about the subject. During an episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, K. Michelle playfully warned Kasten to make sure his sausage stays in his scrubs. The comment got laughs, but some viewers began connecting it to other remarks she had made over time. Suddenly, what once sounded like harmless jokes started looking a lot more intentional in the eyes of fans. Before long, people felt they were starting to understand why the marriage seemed so unusual from the outside. After all, K. Michelle had casually described her husband as being so far removed from her life. As it turns out, some reports suggested she meant that more literally than many first assumed. According to reports discussed by Real Housewives of Atlanta fan outlets, Kasten remained in Memphis, helping operate his dental practice with his father, while K. Michelle continued maintaining her own living space elsewhere, and surprisingly, she appeared completely comfortable with that arrangement. For some couples, having a little extra independence and personal space works just fine. There's nothing unusual about partners choosing a setup that fits their lifestyle. The reason people kept raising eyebrows, however, was that each new detail about the marriage seemed to make the relationship sound more separate rather than more connected. Fans watching from the outside struggled to understand how everything fit together, especially given how recently the couple had tied the knot. Things appeared to change once K. Michelle joined the cast of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. As an official peach holder, having a stronger connection to Atlanta suddenly became much more relevant. According to online reports, shortly before filming began, K. Michelle and Kasten purchased a mansion in Atlanta reportedly worth around $1.5 million. On the surface, it looked like the perfect next chapter. A newly married couple, a stunning home, a high-profile reality television platform, and a fresh opportunity to showcase their life together. Everything seemed polished and picture-perfect from the outside. But once the cameras started rolling, viewers quickly noticed that this marriage didn't look quite as straightforward as it appeared on paper. In fact, the more people watched, the more questions they seemed to have about what was really happening behind the scenes. The situation sparked even more conversation when K. Michelle appeared on Club Shay Shay in May 2026. During the interview, she shared some surprisingly candid thoughts about relationships, personal boundaries, and experiences that immediately got people talking online. She explained that she would be open to watching certain situations unfold if the opportunity ever presented itself, though she said she generally preferred seeing recordings afterward rather than being present in the moment. That revelation alone was enough to send social media into a frenzy and leave viewers debating what it meant for her marriage. The discussion became even more controversial when Shannon Sharpe asked whether Kasten would be comfortable watching her with another man. K. Michelle responded in a way that caught many listeners off guard. According to her perspective, if society often expects women to accept certain freedoms and experiences from men, then women should be allowed the same level of freedom in return. She went on to explain that when two people have known each other for as many years as she and Kasten have, conversations about fantasies, infidelity, and relationship boundaries can become more complicated and less traditional. Not everyone agreed with that viewpoint, though. Critics argued that some of her comments sounded like an attempt to justify behaviors that could be deeply painful in many relationships. Others felt her remarks reflected a very different approach to trust, commitment, and long-term partnership than what most people are used to seeing. Others pointed out that K. Michelle frequently referenced the long history she shared with Kasten whenever questions about their relationship came up. Time and time again, the conversation seemed to circle back to ideas like, "We've known each other forever," or "He knows me better than anybody." For her, that deep history appeared to be one of the strongest foundations of their connection. However, critics argued that a long history by itself does not automatically mean a relationship is healthy or free of problems. In their view, years together can explain a bond, but they do not necessarily answer concerns about communication, trust, or compatibility. At the same time, some online commentators speculated that the timing of the marriage was connected to her reality television debut, a theory that generated plenty of discussion across social media platforms. K. Michelle was not interested in staying silent while strangers picked apart her personal life. She took to X and fired back at the ongoing commentary, writing, "Shut the up. I'm literally so annoyed and sick of y'all ass." At the end of the day, only K. Michelle and Kasten truly know what happens behind closed doors and what works for their relationship. While many outsiders remain confused by certain details, it is entirely possible that they have created a dynamic that makes sense to them, even if it looks unconventional to everyone else watching from the outside. When you step back and look at K. Michelle's relationship history as a whole, certain patterns stand out. From the serious allegations and control issues she described in her relationship with Memphis, to her complicated connection with R. Kelly, and now a marriage that has sparked endless debate because of its unconventional dynamics, it's easy to see why so many people have questions. Over the years, her love life has often been marked by emotional highs, painful lows, unexpected twists, and situations that kept fans talking long after the headlines faded. That's exactly why so many observers continue to side-eye this marriage. Some believe that when a person spends years navigating difficult relationship dynamics, their view of what feels normal can start to shift. As a result, behaviors, boundaries, or situations that once seemed unacceptable may begin to feel familiar simply because they've been part of the pattern for so long. Whether that applies here or not is something only K. Michelle truly knows. What do you think about K. Michelle and Kasten's relationship? Is this a genuine happy ending, or are there still red flags hiding in plain sight? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next story. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.